Team Liquid really brings, because you compare it to their roster last year with Quas, I Will Dominate, and Xpecial, and really Lorlo, Dardoch, and Matt, who is the support, unfortunately is mislabeled currently as Smoothie. We'll get that fixed as soon as possible, I'm sure. Matt will be the support, and that's another new look who's supposed to be a very hype support as well, coming up from the Challenger scene.
Supports, Lissandra getting banned out once again. We do see that Graves getting a little bit of attention this game. Not to be picked, however. Just the power in the jungle. They do not want to see that in the hands of Dardoch, who did see his pentakill on his Rek'Sai just now, and Dyrus is praised for him in solo queue. See if you can continue to bring it to the LCS stage. It's definitely a different environment for these players. 8 seconds left. TSM really thinking about what their last ban's going to be. And it will be the Callista, actually focused on Piglet.
Yeah, not wanting to give...
Kind of a double flex there.
Yeah, they don't want to give Piglet and Matt the freedom to go aggro like that. And obviously they have a different early pick in mind. Otherwise, you just pick the Callista very early. Because when something like Tom Kench is on the table, you want to bench the Kench.
Unbench the Kench indeed. Poncer is able to grab that. Yellowstar will be playing Kench. Enjoy Yellowstar's ideas and what he kind of puts forth in his theory crafting with support, so this could be interesting.
At Worlds, we would see it almost always go as support, but honestly, lately,
that's so true.
It's a top lane. It's a very common top lane pick as well.
That's
so this is a...
My brain is in Worlds right now.
It's an even higher value pick, because not only can it protect a hyper carry, it can also be a bully top lane, unkillable...
One of the flexiest.
Bruising beast. Or Svenskeren, I'll take him to the jungle.
He's so annoying to see, too, when he comes up. You're like, well, he's either going to eat me now,
or
slow me with a minion, then eat me. And then the denial game as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Svenskeren Elise here. It would be definitely hard to fight this team if they were always denying your kills just when you were about to die. Alistar and Lucian actually picked up quite quickly, but that's just the bottom lane of Team Liquid. They're not showing very much.
Lucian once again for Piglet. He went full offense in the 61-minute game they had against Renegades, selling his boots for a Phantom Dancer. It was a 100% crit build he reached at one point. But in doing so, even though Piglet was kind of the reason they were still in the game, Piglet was also the reason they lost the game, because he got caught out on multiple occasions near the end of the game.
It's one and the other. Rek'Sai, Ezreal, going to be picked up. It will not be the Elise for Svenskeren. She goes all the way through. Maybe picked up here for Dardoch on his side. Piglet hovering in that vein, a little bit of love for that. It's just reminiscing. Bring out the Narbar, along with a little bit of Elise could be the pickups here. It looks like it would be a solid grab, allowing Phoenix to counterpick his mid lane, which he so likes to do. So pretty good composition here, really on the same page for Team Liquid that they're putting together so far.
Well, it's very close to what they played on day one. Gnar, Lucian, and Elise are all the same champions for them. Of course, this will be Dardoch's take on Elise, not I Will Dominate. And like you said, Phoenix will have the option of counter-picking Bjergsen, because currently the Ezreal could be going mid or as AD carry, most likely AD carry. But you do not want to pick completely blind.
Then he has to pick his support, right? If it stays with Tom going somewhere else. Because this is a very just back and forth right now.
It decides a lot.
Yeah.
Currently, there is still a lot of different ways
TSM
team can go.
It is not a support Tom Kench. It is a support Bard and a Syndra in the mid lane for Bjergsen. Last time played at Worlds.
Yeah, classic Syndra for Bjergsen. He is so good at that champion. His first LCS pentakill came on Syndra back when he was in the European LCS. Long, long ago.
Kind of a few more on Karma and the likes. Let's see what kind of pressure he can put on the game today with basically his second nature champion. You know, we used to think of Bjergsen, you think of pretty much Zed and Syndra. The champions of that. So, see where he can go. A little bit of LeBlanc in there for his assassin pool. It's going to be an Orianna for Phoenix. I actually like his play quite a bit, and again, it kind of goes right with the synergy of their team. Everybody's going in, Bash Brothers of Gnar and Alistar, and now you're going to have a Shockwave on it.
Tank backup as well. Helps that initiation. Yesterday, Lorlo was able to get off some pretty nice Gnar ultimates. Now, they're probably imagining if we could just put a Shockwave on top of that Gnar ultimate, it would be even better. We'll see how this one ends up panning out, because with the Bard and the Syndra, TSM will be trying to get a lot of picks and not necessarily going for huge team fights, although they'll be capable of it. But if it was just a straight-on 5v5, Team Liquid's team composition would be superior. So many different factors change that, though, throughout the game.
I'm really excited to see what Haunter can do with Kench in the top lane. He was a big focus yesterday on that Mundo, taken down very early. Became somewhat of a pain point in the lane swaps that TSM was trying to do. And also shut down a bit of Svenskeren. Looking at this mid lane, we do see that barrier is on Phoenix as usual, so he doesn't get burst out. So we'll see him mostly farming up till he gets 6. It'll be interesting to see where the pressure does start here. TSM usually with some interesting first level ones. See if day 2 of the LCS is where they bring out one of those. Liquid looking to get a win on the board along with TSM. 0-1 to start the split for these two teams.
Yeah, both definitely needing to pick up that win. Darge and Loco Doco shaking hands at the end of this one, and yeah, I'm really seeing which one of these teams can come back and what type of identity we'll see from them. TSM was very sloppy in day 1, and Team Liquid also sloppy. That's why they made the roster changes.
We'll see what kind of skills they have getting into game. Start casting your votes for the team you think will grab the W. Hashtag TSM win or hashtag TL win. You know where to send it at LOL Esports. We'll tally up those votes and make sure they get onto the screen. Everybody right in the crowd for Game 3. We're going to get this one live between TSM and Team Liquid. We'll see if one of these teams can pick up a victory. You can even see TSM's banners there in the pan-in. A team that has taken multiple titles here in the North American LCS. Struggling in the first week. See if they can repair a few of these mistakes as we get onto the Rift for Game 3.
Still just the first week of North American LCS. These teams not had a huge amount of time to gel yet. Yellowstar recently coming over from Europe. Dardoch and Matt just subbed in to the starting roster after Dominate and Smoothie played yesterday. Dardoch and Matt, though, they've been playing a recently qualified Team Liquid Academy to the Challenger Series, so maybe a little bit more fresh as far as somewhat high-pressure games go. Tough to start straight up against TSM, though, that's for sure.
It's been a really interesting split in terms of changes. It's the most we've ever had in a single week or from day to day, where as many teams have changed as many players as they did.
True.
So teams are trying a lot of different things this year. They're trying to go outside the box early and see how these things feel so they can pan out for the rest of the season. Team Liquid already using that other roster of the 10-man. Or I guess more people of the same roster, I should say, this year. And it's Dardoch and Matt this time. Starting off, either side looks like it's going to be pretty even here for both teams.
Yeah, we've seen
That's
the
gross.
double jungling and lane swap in every game so far today. Really, it is the way the game is going, and will continue to go. Now Lorlo and Dardoch, much different look Team Liquid. Takes them a very long time to take down that first Krug.
All right. I like that we're not going to get a lane swap. We get some mashed up lanes here. A little bit of love for the junglers now. They don't have to be going back and forth in their own jungle. They can actually get to a lane. See how Svenskeren and Dardoch start off their team here. Good attacks by Yellow Stars, getting those meeps off. A little bit of extra damage. Why not use it when you get the chance? And there's that Thunderlords.
Yeah, two very aggressive AD carries going to be going head-to-head right here. Doublelift spoke about the confidence he used to have 2v2 with Aphromoo, how they'd always go and outplay people. Yet Yellow Star loves to leave and roam, and they haven't quite developed that 2v2 kill pressure yet. But this will be honestly a really nice test for both Matt into Piglet and Yellow Star with his compatibility for Doublelift. Because both of these AD carries, they want to win this lane.
And it helps that Matt took that Triumphant Roar second. He has to heal Piglet up. They lost that first trade very quickly. And like you said, a much different lane here for Doublelift and Yellow Star, or for, I should say, TSM in Doublelift and Yellow Star that they used to have. We'd see Turtle and Lustboy kind of being very calm right now, but it was action out of the gate. We'll see Yellow Star getting his ward out, meaning they probably want to push a little bit harder and still go aggressive in that bottom lane. To the top, that has been the job of Lorlo, and Haunter lets it happen. He's farming under the turret. Should be all right on that. Very nice mechanics getting the siege in as well.
Lorlo much more capable of shoving in early since he has the range advantage over the Tom Kent. So it's really just on Haunter to CS well at the turret to keep that lane competitive. There's really no kill pressure on that top lane unless someone greatly overextends. If anything, the kill pressure is always in the Cinder lane. Bjergsen has it in the right spot, but Svenskeren walks onto a ward. This is what Bjergsen likes to do in the mid lane. It seemingly happens every time he plays Cinder. He'll always get it to stop about 65% of the way towards his turret, which leaves the best possible gank paths for a jungler.
Very nicely done. Svenskeren checked, but there was that ward. He's now down to the bottom. This is actually where I thought he would go first due to the pressure, and it's been relieved a little bit. Yellowstar was just on the turret. The flash engage, a quick exhaust going onto Piglet. Yellowstar with the fast fingers there, and it could just save his life as he runs through the pre-placed shrines. Great moves all around. A nice attempt by Team Liquid.
Flash burned. Yellowstar doesn't even have to flash away after getting headbutted backwards. That means they're going to continue to be putting on the pressure here, since that is no longer a move that Matt can pull off. And they can just stack up those heals again. Oh, here comes Elise, though. This might burn the flash. Oh!
The flash burns a Cocoon predicted, and that's a dead Yellowstar. Doublelift can't do anything about it.
The Dardoch hype. What a Cocoon right there. Yellowstar not necessarily waiting to see the Cocoon shot, just assuming Dardoch would shoot it right at him, but Dardoch was definitely ahead of Yellowstar in the mind game, and he turns this lane around for Team Liquid.
Already ready to make plays. First game on the stage here. Like you said, though, he's coming off the tournament previously. What a pop-up on the Lorlo hop. There's the gray health. And a nice calculated dive, unfortunately coming without a kill there. Lorlo saves himself. Flash burn, though.
Haunter loses all his health thanks to that dive. Couldn't quite get the Devour off to finish off Lorlo.
Shouldn't be too bad for him. He heads back. He'll have TP back to lane. Actually stays in lane. No corrupting potion charges, but he feels safe against Lorlo right now with no flash up. Not too much kill pressure there from him. It may draw Svenskeren to that top side, though. It's just not enough room. Lorlo could easily hop back to the turret, so he goes back home.
And we've been speaking about jungle builds all day. Dardoch with a very unique one. He hasn't even upgraded his smite yet, but he's already gone for Boots of Swiftness, which means he's really not that concerned about taking his jungle camps in a timely fashion. He's more concerned about just getting pressure out on the map as quickly as possible.
Very interesting. I like the play so far. A little outside the box. We love to see it, but it doesn't look like he's going to get too much here on to Haunter. Really what they're looking for is somebody else to be present. No counter going to happen, so they just get a little more power in the top lane. That Spiderling, the Volatile Spider rather, probably seen, so they have a call now on Dardoch. Is there a move anywhere from TSM? It's going to be hard. Phoenix going to play safe, and Matt can just disengage anything in the bot lane. They do back off, though.
So far, it's mainly been the flash predict Cocoon from Dardoch to kill Yellowstar. It is the difference in this game because TSM has been pushing in this bottom lane pretty heavily. Piglet and Matt unable to get the upper hand on just the poke that Bard can put over Alistar. It's not really the Lucian versus Ezreal as much as it is the Bard over Alistar, but really harass.
Who can be called up here? You see that Matt has to go all the way around the back. Svenskeren's able to get out of this situation nicely. Very well played there. A few CS up onto Dardoch and giving him a bit of trouble in the jungle since he's had better lane instances. Here maybe one of those. Only finding a pink ward, however.
Commend Svenskeren right there. He has gone for the early ward upgrade with the Tracker's Knife, and he appropriately entered Dardoch's jungle after Dardoch showed top. Counter jungles well and gets the deep wards, which gives TSM a lot of freedom to play aggressively in lane despite the early swiftness boots that Dardoch has picked up.
So farm alarm back out. Looks like we will see Svenskeren towards the top side of the map. Items being completed around boots for Haunter, Jarnum's Fist for Lorlo, looking to grab a bit of HP as he farms out in that top lane. And he does have a bit of a lead. Nothing too crazy yet. TSM is definitely playing this one in a slow early game. Not too much on their mind to do. Bjergsen gets blue, maybe a bit of kill pressure now on a Phoenix in the mid lane, but that barrier should keep him pretty safe.
Yeah. It's going to be pretty tricky for Bjergsen to actually kill Phoenix, since Phoenix has started with the Catalyst on Orianna.
That too.
Catalyst, great for durability on Orianna, since she can gain the armored magic resist from having the ball on her head. And then Bjergsen also going the gold generation route with the Frost Queen's Claim Rush, which, while still very good, doesn't pack the highest amount of damage early. So Really, Bjergsen going probably for more of a mid-game spike than an immediate kill pressure on Fuse. If Svenskeren gets there for a good gank, though, anything's possible.
Yep. Spooky Ghost would be very nice to enable Svenskeren to get in for a pop-up. Definitely something they can start to utilize with that spike once it comes up. Just a 200 gold lead right now, kind of fizzle between all of the lanes on the map. Nobody has too big of a lead that they can make an impact here. Blue's going now over to Phoenix. And he should actually have that at different times than Bjergsen, so they may be able to work something out with those time differences. Finally, this is the first time we've really seen Team Liquid on our map. Down to the turret. They've obviously done it already with the last engage from Dardoch, but this time they do it before he gets there. Still come up with the kill onto Doublelift, and Dardoch is just there for a bit more pressure. The rappel is on. The slows are there. That's the passive W on Lorlo for some extra damage. And man, they get out nicely on that. 2 kills going in for Team Liquid.
Yep. Very well coordinated there by the new guys there. Dardoch and Matt come in for the fight. Yellow Star's ultimate on the turret really doesn't grant them any safety. Just allow Team Liquid to continue the dive. And that's now 2 successful kills for Dardoch down the bottom lane.
Yeah.
Doublelift has had no help from Svenskeren in the meanwhile.
All right. This looks like it's just
in the turret.
a little bit of lane pressure. Nicely done. Spooky Ghost finished out, and Scatter the Meek get able to get out safely. See this play one more time in the bot lane.
Another flash in right as the teleport lands in. I mean, Yellowstar turned off his own turret while he's getting turret go. Typically not what you want to do. If he's going to plant that, he needs to be able to save Doublelift without turning off the turret for defense.
Oh! What timing!
Yep.
Bjergsen with the instant scatter and stops Dardoch in his tracks. Also, that kill, it did go over to Svenskeren, so he's got 2 kills, cash money going into his pocket, which helps him a bit from not really having too much in the early game to Dardoch's 2 kills.
Oh, man.
But that was a very reactive play.
I know he also got the stun off, so really just a total stuff. Dardoch got wrecked, huh? I'm not exactly sure what happened there. He caught it at the very last second, so.
He just got flash stuffed, basically.
Yeah.
Didn't have time
with
to
the stop.
So Haunter should be all right up here. He is obviously going to have to watch his turret take damage and clean these minions out. Could chomp up Matt, but nobody's there to help him. True shot barrage towards the top side, but a little too late.
Oh, TSM is setting up a play right here.
What's this?
Teleporting. It will be a 4-man.
What are you doing, Sven? Coming around the back. Dardoch not ready for it.
That's where you want to turn the turret
on from Bard, rather. And that's the kill onto Dardoch. He just came back from being dead, so now he loses even more ground in his own jungle. TSM have Team Liquid on the run and wipe him off the face of the map.
TSM tries to give Team Liquid a taste of their own medicine with the 4-man dive in the bottom side. No Piglet to be found, though. He had already swapped away, but they still pick up some nice, clean kills as shutdown onto Dardoch, and this will mean a real tanky Haunter because he picked up both of those.
That has been planned for quite some time. There's a bunch of wards from TSM inside of Team Liquid's jungle right now, and you can see Svenskeren. He was basically on the coattails of the bot lane of Team Liquid, hovering, and then they had a perfect fight just right under their noses, and Team Liquid did not know it. See it again.
Dardoch definitely got the jump in the early game, but since then, Svenskeren has been fighting back with the mid lane play as well as this one. Dardoch gets the cocoon out, but now he is defenseless. Properly placed Bard ultimate, just catching the turret, making the dive even safer. Haunter finishes off the Boots of Swiftness Rush, squishy Elise. And then, because of the mid lane pressure, Bjergsen lands the stun right on top of Lorlo while still getting the damage from both his Q and his E. So an ideal move there at the start. Makes the second easy kill for TSM.
Spooky Ghost, so good as well. Lorlo may have actually made it out if that had not been a first item that was Bjergsen or anybody is usually going for nowadays. Yellow Star sees Dardoch. They have jungler knowledge, which helps out quite a bit, and they can move as a team. Pretty powerful in numbers right now for Team Solo Mid, and easy access back and forth. Wards on the outside, and they are going to rush the heck out of this. I don't think they're going to be able to stop it.
Yep.
Very nicely going down. I believe they'll give it to Haunter for the top lane.
You never really know. Yep, you were correct, Riv. Generally, whoever wants to push the advantage the most. And since they have a 2-0 Sunfire Cape, Tom Kench right now, he's going to go walking people.
That's cute. I was like watching, so playing Bard is much different than watching Bard, obviously. But watching pros use kind of journeys and little situations like that to taunt Alistar and say, I can take this ward, or the way Alphamoo uses them in like the longest parts of the map you wouldn't think. You're just like, you just want to cross the screen. It's very cool. I love watching these guys play Bard, and that's why everybody gets so excited. All the plays that can be made. Yellowstar doing well for himself to start this one off.
You know, we were having a discussion with some other casters, just trying to figure out how much Bard play we're really going to see this year, because we're thinking like maybe Bard is in some of the space that Thresh used to occupy, in a sense that it's a support that can fit into any team composition, right? If you think about his laning phase, poke, harass, bring some CC, has utility, good roaming and gank presence, and a really high skill ceiling, just based on how you use your tunnels and where you're positioning your stuns.
So many uses for his ultimate as well. Engage, disengage.
And a lot of pre-planning required where to put down the health shrines. So really, Yellowstar wants to add Bard to his repertoire. Like, it's a champion he can pick pretty safely in almost any situation.
And we saw a bit of that health shrine trickery earlier. Just basically placed in the brush, but it was his escape path. Kept him alive previously. All the little things that become second nature. What makes these champions look so good when the pros take to the rift. Just 1,000 gold lead here for Team Solo Mid as they kind of weathered the early game and then found some openings here towards the bot side of the map. Dragon 1 already for them. We have some time before that comes back up. So it's farming for Piglet in the top lane. Definitely could be a game where he starts to do big things. 1-0-2 if he can keep going at that pace.
It's what he's going to want to do. I mean, Piglet and Phoenix need to be the leaders for this team. They are the two imported Korean players, and everything else has been changed around them. So if you do not succeed at first, everything changes. Try and succeed now. Farming up pretty evenly with Bjergsen so far in the mid lane. Orianna does not naturally win against Syndra. Syndra wins most all matchups in the mid lane, especially when played well. And then it's about the late game scaling or team fighting potential if you think your other mid laner can do better. So basically Phoenix, more wombo combo potential, stacking up a little bit with his Rod of Ages, but mainly having to build defensive just to survive the early barrage from Syndra.
Hopefully Lorelo can get himself going this game. We spoke a little bit about yesterday's Gnar. It didn't have that much of an impact rather on the game. Already down a bit in lane. But a lot of action up there right now. Double lift, Temper Fate comes out. He will most likely be going down in this situation. Yellowstar trying to just deter the fight and say, there's more here, believe me. It's almost like throwing a lantern behind you by creating that journey. But they didn't buy it. They knew there were not many TSM members to be had. And Lorelo still dances with Haunter in the bot lane. Liquid has not given up on this top side just yet. Sven there as well. Still the dance in mid lane between Phoenix and Bjergsen. They are both full health. It looks like this turret will find just a little bit of pressure for Team Liquid, not too much.
Still a good play overall by Team Liquid. Matt with another pick onto double lift. So really, the aggressive nature so far of Matt, making the substitution, at least in the short term, seem pretty solid for Team Liquid.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Tom Kench
He would have been in
will
his
literally
belly.
slap you to death.
With his tongue.
Yeah, one of the hardest things about playing a Tom Kench is if he devours you, he spits you out with 2 more stacks. So he's literally 1 hit away and a tongue lash from another stun. The stickiness is insane out of this guy, and especially when it's so hard to kill him since he has the gray health. So that's why he snowballs really, really hard, and it's one of the big reasons you see him out of the top lane. Since a support Tom Kench can be really good at protecting the AD carry, he doesn't have the same stickiness because he's never reaching the same tankiness levels that the top lane Tom Kench can. But now in the top lane, you already see he's gone heavy cooldown reduction, boots of swiftness so he's quick, and the inherent stickiness we talked about from the acquired taste passive.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane.
I always loved it because it's one of the champions, and you don't have this on many, if even any other champions, where you can displace somebody where you want them. Yeah, you can Gragas barrel and do this or that, but that's very disorienting as well, especially if you don't play against it very often. Yellowstar's using it to full advantage here. Or, I'm sorry, Haunter was using it to full advantage, 2-0. So, Dragon is alive. You see a little bit of love for mid lane here as they're back and forth between that, flash for flash. So 5 minutes apiece there. But the aggression comes from TSM, knowing that flash is down. Maybe Dardoch is on the outside of what would be this next Dragon fight. It makes it a little easier for him.
Typically, it is a good trade to trade a jungler flash for an opponent mid laner flash, even more so if it is Bjergsen.
Right.
Because he's typically been at the center of all of TSM's playmaking. That is supposed to change with Yellow Star here. We have yet to see that come to fruition. And also, as far as this dragon is concerned, Lorlo just popped back into Mininar, so there's no making her up for this one. One of the big reasons Team Liquid is not contesting this dragon.
And we're out. 5-man journey. I think Haunter should get like tax, or Tenches should get tax for journey use. They're like 1 gold or something.
Yeah, that's the bar nerf. Every time you go, you cannot go through Magical Journey unless you spend 10 gold.
10 gold.
Make you think twice about running in circles around raptors and taking it like 6 times. It's an expensive trip all of a sudden.
Yep. Gotta watch out. This quality of life buffs we're gonna give. 20 minutes on the clock. Home guard's about to initiate. Right now, we're not really favoring either team too much.
Can you imagine if the teammates had to pay as well? So it's like, you just funnel gold into Bard, he puts it in like a mid lane turret, and all of a sudden he can buy an Infinity Edge like a minute into the game. Anyway, TSM
go through my portal, I need 10 gold.
Yeah.
Oh! 5 seconds.
All right. And here comes Baron.
Hey!
Yeah.
He's sad.
Actually, I was watching Sven Skaren play with Bjergsen in solo queue, and the Rift Herald will despawn at 1945.
45, right.
Sven Skaren actually really takes it frequently kind of at that moment because he wants the free gold, and no one's really paying attention to it at that point. But Bjergsen had been resting his wrists in the offseason, so he hadn't been playing that much. And he was like, Bjergsen, hit it once. And Bjergsen like went to auto-attack it, and while his auto-attack was in the air, it despawned because if it's engaged in combat, it won't despawn.
Right.
And for a split second, Bjergsen just thought he was really, really fed, and he one-shot the Rift Herald. But that was not to be. It just respawned. Despawned.
Dang. He's like, oh, it's a bug. I didn't get the buff. Where is it? I don't see it. I actually enjoyed the comment when it came out that if Baron actually ate Rift Herald when it came out, I think that would be a really cool animation. But then if you're fighting Rift Herald, the Baron comes
up.
It just like eats your whole team. That would be very good.
Make it a very high-risk buff around 20 minutes, that's for sure.
Things that will never happen. Back to the game at hand. TSM versus TL here, day 2. Both teams have kind of gotten a feeling for what each other want. Aggression from TSM has been the name of the game here for the past 5 or so minutes. On to Dardoch. He repels out. We're going to see where Haunter can go. He is very hurt. Gnar onto Yellow Star. Double is low. Bjergsen gets knocked into the middle. Matt going hard for the priority targets, and Dardoch's able to finish that off. Haunter very low. Liquid's hardly taking damage here. They're not being targeted correctly because TSM can't find the right members, and Liquid pick up 2 for 1 in that fight, only losing Matt. Good fight.
Well played by Team Liquid. They turn around the TSM aggression because TSM are the ones who decided they really wanted that fight. And cast your mind back to 3.5 minutes ago when Dardoch traded flashes with Bjergsen, because in this fight, Matt flashed onto Bjergsen and killed him before he could get involved in this fight, and it was the big difference maker. Reason Team Liquid took the turret after the fight as well.
It had been quite a lull there, and that was on TSM's aggression. Liquid assessed it correctly, and they get a mid-turret out of it with 2 kills. That puts Sven Skaren down, and that also put Bjergsen down, as you said, with his flash not being up. Dardoch and Matt should be able to protect this turret quite well. What moves can TSM make now? Doesn't mean they can't do that type of initiation anymore, but they definitely have to reconsider how they do it.
They have to execute better. That's another missed Bard ultimate from Yellow Star, and you could tell that was a play that needed to happen in synchrony. The Bard ult needed to be zoning so that when Haunter took his Abyssal Voyage, it would put him near people. So either the Bard ult hits and it's near people, or the Bard ult moves people towards the Abyssal Voyage. Those things didn't really happen, and the ensuing fight was in favor of Team Liquid because Team Liquid just planned their counter engage better thanks to the initiation not landing properly for TSM.
Pings toward the bot lane. Looks like that might be a feast for Lorlo to respect top, as well as going to start pushing for Team Liquid. Right now, they're just happy to hold mid lane. TSM has already dropped the outer turret, so we know where the focus is going to be for now. I think they're going to be trying to get into the jungle for any buffs. It's a little too scary at that point. Around it, items, discrepancies. Everybody actually quite close in this game. It's only a 1,000 gold lead. As we said, Dardoch with a very nice early game. Really able to start off the lanes, but TSM was able to put something in around 15 minutes that really evened things out. here. Team Liquid again trying to get forward wards. This will create the options they need, and now with this late push for Lorlo, they can start to make something work.
Looking to make a play, especially while Doublelift is off farming without his ultimate. So not only can Doublelift not reach, he cannot even help ult to clear a wave. So Team Liquid getting vision within the jungle. They also have dive pressure with Alistar, and it will be a tall task for TSM to defend this turret.
The spit by Haunter, able to clear a good amount of waves. With Yellow Star's Meeps and a few hits from Haunter's tongue. Or sorry, Svenskaren's Prey Seeker.
Yeah, this pulls Doublelift back to the bottom lane. There was a nice stun landed actually onto Piglet that stopped him from getting damage on the turret. TSM might look to fight here.
Nice to have that True Shot barrage down. Tempered Fate on the Phoenix.
landed.
They still have a front line to keep Phoenix alive. This could be an ultimate coming in. There's the Shockwave. It splits Svenskaren and Haunter though on opposite ends. Can they still both be picked up? Only Svenskaren. Haunter had great health to work with, or possibly already used it. He goes down immediately. And now they're just looking at Bjergsen, Doublelift, and Yellowstar at the turret. Almost health that you can toy with. Doublelift thinks right now on Team Liquid as he fires more Mystic shots. There's the Arcane shift forward. Iceborne Gauntlet onto Matt, and it's the only one that doesn't slow the rest of the team. And it's going to be hard to chase these guys. Whatever Lorlo hits you with. Whoa! Frozen Mallet, Scat of the Week. Matt stays alive. A Triumph for Roar keeps him alive as well. And they keep moving forward. Dangerous game, giving some HP to the members of Liquid as well. Bjergsen, it doesn't look good. And TSM just should have stayed at the turret.
They wanted to make the best of a bad situation, but in doing so, TSM made it far, far worse. The ace goes down to Team Liquid right here, and honestly, Matt has been so on point with Alistar here, shutting down Doublelift time and time again, and TSM has either been missing their initiations or misplaying towards the end of fights. Yes, the Bard ultimate did land, but it didn't actually create, because the instant that happens, watch the zoning from Matt and Lorlo. They protect Phoenix during that stasis period. They get a two-man shockwave off, a huge misplay by Haunter here, not activating his gray health, because he was not stunned. Like, he can use it at any point here. He just dies.
That was up.
Instead, and then they stick around. Yellowstar is thinking they can still win, so he's the shot caller here. He's telling them to go back in. Doublelift trusts him with the Mystic shots and the slows from the blue Ezreal, but they haven't necessarily tracked the cooldowns. They think they can kill Matt because he has no ultimate, but at this moment, Matt decides to turn it around, getting the distance and really picking Doublelift with a fraction of that pulverize. Magically stays alive, doesn't die to Bjergsen. Yellowstar is useless after his 80 carry dies at that point because it's a 2v5, and they just chase down afterwards. So really TSM going for some more aggressive plays this time, Riv, but really just Team Liquid outplaying them in the execution standpoint.
Piglet 4-0-6 now, feeling very good. Phoenix 0-0-7. Not dying in a game and knowing you're getting your items just makes you more confident in your initiations, and your plays usually stick that much harder as well. We see Team Liquid getting what they want out of bottom. Now it's going to try to be mid lane. TSM once again sets up shop, but the turret just continues to take damage, and they set up shop, but it looks like Team Liquid has come through the back door. It was wide open. They're able to repair that. But it does not look like this turret is long for this world. Another minion wave to come down. It's got a while. TSM is going to be able to hold off for just a few more seconds.
You know Team Liquid is confident when they headbutt a Tahm Kench into their team, and it's an aggressive play, not a terrible game-losing play.
Usually the consideration is, do we go on Kench, do we not? It's very hard to think. The ultimate, he jumps and then flashes. Lorlo with amazing Gnar ultimate. The team trying to capitalize now. The journey being taken to the left side. Haunter in the front line has to make sure the team can get here. This is reminiscent of the last fight we saw in the bot lane. There's the gray health out. Team Liquid still kiting as much as they can. They come out with kills there and still don't lose anyone.
Oh man, amazing that Yellowstar is the only one that falls in that crazy fight. Really, it's because this time Haunter successfully ate Bjergsen as he was getting headbutt back. That's actually a key that hasn't been happening these last fights. Bjergsen's getting thrust into dangerous situations by Team Liquid, and then he's not getting bailed out. This is the first time Haunter bailed him out properly on Tahm Kench, utilizing the power of that pick, and it salvages the terrible situation because the initiation looked pretty devastating from Team Liquid and only resulted in one kill.
12-4 now. That about 1,000 gold lead we had at 18-20 minutes. Now up to 4,000 gold in favor of Team Liquid. Great initiations from them, assessing the fights that TSM's trying to put on the table. Matt with the flash pulverizes, got his distortion boots very early, so he's getting those summoner spells back right quick to continue doing it. And the thing I like, and we kind of marked it last fight, is that he's holding it. The fight started by TSM in mid lane, and then he got Bjergsen. That fight happened at the turret, and then they ran down lane, and then he got Ezreal. Really kind of playing in the minds of his opponents, thinking everything would have been used by now, right? Let's go in for our fight, and that's where Team Liquid coming out on top. Great plays by the bot lane so far from them. The rest of the team stepping up nicely for today as well. TSM trying to gain ground with wards now as they get some feet back on the rift here from the Death Chamber. 29 minutes on the clock. Let's see what they can do for themselves.
Yeah, still trying to set up sieges. So this is somewhat reminiscent of yesterday's game where TSM is dying a lot and losing a lot of fights, but then you look up at the overall gold and you think, hey, this game is still totally winnable. It's 3,000 gold difference at 50,000 total gold for the opponent, so it's still, you know, 3 or 4% gold difference, really not, around 10% gold difference, not that big a difference. Matt takes poke, does have flash. TSM still looking to be aggressive.
They're also sporting a banner of command now, I forgot the name, but they can start playing off a few waves here, off the ball, if you will, and let these waves push without their help. Pushing out PL to the side. Temper Fate can't really be acted on whatsoever. Cosmic Binding still with a huge front line that TSM is using abilities but not getting much out of it. And Team Liquid take the position they wanted just a few seconds ago, right in front of their turret.
Another essentially missed Bard ultimate right there, because either they need to be able to capitalize on people when they're out of stasis or capitalize on the opponent while there are other people in stasis right there.
Yeah.
But they catch one tank, one squishy, decide not to fight. Now there's no Bard ultimate.
Still have a calling if they even need it to clear a wave out, and themselves are pushing back towards TSM. TSM really respecting that as well. Continue to move back at their own pace. And 1 minute on to Dragon here, so it's what can we get out of each other. That Bard out being down would be very nice here as well.
Yellowstar still looking for play. Well ahead of the rest of the team, though.
Yeah. Thought if they move fast enough, they could get lore low and then maybe be able to turn around into another fight. And say, never mind, let's get the wave. Now pushing off of Baron. Interesting game we have going on here, but TSM is working with what they currently have.
Yeah.
They don't have any time to lose.
Still, Team Liquid only has about 6% more gold than TSM, despite the 8 kills. This time I did the math right. They're chasing down Bjergsen.
Bjergsen gets hit. He's going to get eaten up. Hanser plays this one correctly. Dardoch with the repel in and the jump. And Bjergsen is safe. This is TSM now trying to kite the fight out. This is what Team Liquid's been doing to them. Liquid not getting what they want. Dardoch has no mana right now, and he goes into the fight. Jumps actually out of that with a nice hit towards the minions. Gets out of the True Shot barrage. And Team Liquid very, very low. They reinitiate by TSM. Looking good. This is Double Lift going with the True Shot barrages, or rather with the Mystic Shots. Phoenix does get hit by it. It's going to be Rek'Sai going to the top side. There's Phoenix going down finally. Kensfan scared, finds some prey. The tunnel will be in, but no catch from Matt. And what a hectic fight back and forth. Phoenix is the only one that falls.
Yeah, the more supportive style from the Tahm Kench here, instead of just going all aggressive, instead stuffing the initiation of Team Liquid, very helpful in that last fight. You could tell Team Liquid unable to get the clean kill. The blue buff Ezreal was looking to turn afterwards. This is Dragon number 3 now for TSM. Quite a game we got on our hands.
It really is, especially only 32 minutes in. Seems like we've been going for quite a while, but these guys just keep getting at each other's necks, giving us a bit of action. So it just feels like a lot more time. 3K still for Team Liquid. The Dragons, as you said, are being picked up, so that's going to start putting a timer on number 5 for TSM. We'll see this play one again.
So Dardoch does get the stun, which is why Hanser needed to eat him while he was stunned, because he could not escape. Then it continues. Keep watching. Dardoch uses his repel down to get another close onto him, but they can't get Bjergsen. So at this point, Team Liquid needs to reevaluate. Do they continue chasing, or do they walk into TSM blind? Well, they decided to walk into TSM blind. Lorlo couldn't get the right Gnar ultimate off because Svenskeren actually stuffed it with his Unburrow, which is huge because that was going to line up to be a 4-man Gnar ultimate. He then uses it in the wrong direction. That should have been used heavier for a disengage. Phoenix gets tagged with one half of the Bard slow. Hanser hits him with the Tongue Lash, and then it's Curtains because Doublelift hits him with a slow of his own. No Boots of Swiftness on Phoenix there, actually Merc Dreads. Tricky choice he has to go with, but man, he is relentless.
Back going crazy with the ulti. They get the ball onto the cow. And it looks like Haunter still has great health to work with. It's a fight they seemingly want. Svenskeren was already off to the left side. Not going in. Bard ultimate goes back, but they can't really act on it. Matt does go down, but the focus is on the Yellow Star, and double lift immediately zeroed out by Piglet. He uses flash to get out, still has his heal, and with 300 HP, zooms away from that Prey Seeker as Svenskeren. Svens can't do anything on the backside now. Haunter and Bjergsen running for solace on the fountain. This is going to be a kill, and this is going to be an inhibitor turret if they want it.
Piglet played that fight like
Absolutely
a madman.
amazing.
Wow, what a crazy mechanical fight there from Team Liquid. Still unkilled is Piglet after following up on Lorlo's ultimate. And then he was bouncing back and forth between Svenskeren and Dodge and Bjergsen's spells too. This could actually lead to Baron unless Sven wants to get a little bit aggressive. Bjergsen's also been able to go back and heal up full, plus he's got the blue buff. This is not done yet. The fight could continue.
50-50 is always scary if he can keep healthy enough for that Baron to go low. It is at about 3,000 health, 2,500. No, that's going to be Baron go down. I was looking at Rek'Sai's health. Sorry, I thought that was on the bottom of the screen. It was looking like the same emblem, but it's not. They fooled me. Baron over to Liquid. TSM tried as they may. But Svenskeren just could not get in for the vision for the time. And that's going to be, let's see how this worked out.
In fact, Rek'Sai, a third cousin of Baron Nashor. Anyway, this ultimate comes down, just catches Phoenix, and Matt immediately goes for a disengage. But boom, that sets up the Yellow Star double lift, double stun. Piglet dashes away from Haunter as well as lining up for that kill. And then the Orianna shield gets him for a few of the last hits from Bjergsen's ultimate, which keeps him at a decent level of health. He dodges away from the Rek'Sai on the backside while his front line is pushing up towards Bjergsen. Bjergsen does escape thanks to Haunter, but at the end of the day, Team Liquid wins the fight and takes the Baron.
Man, Lorlo's ultimates as well are setting these fights up so prime for the team. He has gotten big. Having a pretty hectic game yesterday, he's definitely showing up a lot better today. And he didn't have the greatest early game. He was getting pushed in. Not even the greatest. He didn't have the easiest. He was getting pushed in. A lot of 2v1s with Svenskeren, paying some time up to the top lane. But Lorlo's come out big, and he's helping with these initiations along with Matt. Those two are really on the same page. And the rest of Team Liquid is following nicely. TSM setting up for the bushwhack. Yep. Get a little bit of Yellow Star there in the team.
Tanks check first, though, and it is not successful in the long run. Baron buff up. TSM will need to make something happen if they want to avoid starting 0-2.
It's difficult now for them to clear these minions. Just Mystic shots. They help a bit, but it definitely allows for more tags on the turret from Team Liquid. Siege minion in the back. Oh, Hello Star gets eaten up. There's the Gnar out. That was perfect time from Lorlo, and TSM also recognized that. They turned around immediately to not get caught by another Gnar ultimate. But that also cost them the turret, so good timing all around for Team Liquid. Yep. See they back out here on the 4-second back.
Yeah, pretty well met trade right there. Team Liquid invests their ultimates as well as a hefty duration of their Baron buff for an outer turret. So while Team Liquid did accomplish something with the Baron buff, TSM also didn't lose much from the Baron buff. You can basically call that an even trade considering the circumstances. And it'll really be about the next set of fights. TSM is sitting on 3 dragons. Team Liquid is superior in team fights. And it will be about the setup for this next dragon while there is an exposed inhibitor in the mid lane. Matt trying to get deep wards. Svenskeren.
Oh, there's a Raptor.
Svenskeren would have wanted to punish that, but his team wasn't near him and they didn't have deep wards. He would have wanted to punish because Matt's ultimate was down.
See actually a lot of talk from Dardoch there on the screen.
Yeah, this Team Liquid team just feels so much more coordinated than yesterday.
A lot cleaner.
But at the same time, you know, people are going to be playing this game after week 1 where you're trying to make large overarching judgments off of just a few variables.
Yeah.
But based off the few variables so far, this team's solo mid team has not seemed well coordinated whatsoever. CLG beat them and it looks very coordinated in doing so. Then CLG lost to Team Dignitas today. Team Liquid looked uncoordinated when losing to Renegades and is now looking coordinated against Team Solo Mid. So there will be a lot of proving to do for TSM going into week 2 after this week 1 performance for sure.
And Sven knows they have eyes all around with that cocoon. We also just saw Matt in the jungle, so they know right now they have to find a way in without being seen. It's just too easy for Team Liquid to shut them down face to face in a fight. Right now, Lorlo on the top side is going to be pushing. That's actually very nice for Team Liquid. It's going to have to be respected if he can get a good push on this lane. Matt just waiting. He's such a brick wall right now. He doesn't have to worry about much. Svenskeren himself, quite big. Not be providing as much crowd control, though, for his team.
Well, interesting because Lorlo still needs to teleport in. He's trying to manage his Narbar, and the Dragon just goes. So Svenskeren doesn't make it in time to stop this, and now the split push is still afoot. He's got to teleport in right now.
He gave himself no real tunnel to get out until he waits for the time. He's forced to flash. Lorlo is already here. He's going to gnaw out in just a second. It'd be a perfect time. He's going to do it on Yellowstar, but he jumped into the wall when Yellowstar flashed over. And that's going to be a fight that fizzles out. Bjergsen as well as Haunter. Svenskeren quite low as they move in here now, thinking they can maybe pick off Lorlo, but Scatter just misses off the end. And nobody really getting what they want in these fights. Again, nobody goes down, so not much is going to be pushed off this. TSM will still, however, put pressure in the mid lane.
Yeah, still a tense game because the chase potential of TSM is great with the blue buff Ezreal. Our Team Liquid continually able to escape when something goes a little bit awry. And when TSM has something go awry, they've pressed harder and ended up having it cost them. Still, though, 5,000 gold despite everything that's gone in the favor of Team Liquid thus far.
Keeping it just close enough, if you will, for that one fight to come in your favor and just happen.
Just close enough to keep hope alive.
Yeah, keep those inhibitors right where they are in reach. Big wave in the top side. Lorlo had prepped that just as we saw him before he teleported in the fight. We'll see where they decide to go here. A minute and 30 on to Baron. They're going to kind of let this fizzle out. Not much they can do. Both teams are going to use this time back. 509 Piglet. Almost full build.
Yeah, he's getting huge. He has the Mercurial Scimitar in case Bjergsen catches him with the stun. And also now a Hex Drink.
Yeah.
Because even if you can QSS the stun, the straight up damage from the Cinder would be a little bit too much. So now he'll be sitting on 103 magic resistance. Not to mention the 280 magic damage shield that will grant him if he's killed with pure magic damage. So that's actually really like that choice from Piglet, especially since he's going to be going in close range to finish off some fights.
Looks like Doublelift has a friend in the bottom lane in a promoted minion. So he'll be using that to clear this out and then let the wave do the job for him. So keep an eye on that bottom wave and when Team Liquid will take response to it. Right now it's about the top side, and that's a great time to use Banner of Command because if they win this, they'll have waves in nice position.
True. Very underwhelming Baron power play, by the way. We just saw 1,100 gold. The average Baron power play during Worlds was around 3,500 gold. So a very good defense there by TSM to lead up to this next Baron.
Yeah, she's Vel now on Dardoch. That just went right under. Should be all right.
Remember, that's a 2 offensive item, Elise hitting him with the Runic Echoes and the Rylai's. And there's also only one magic resist item on Haunter, and Dardoch barely tickles. So it's going to take a lot to kill Haunter in a fight, as far as front lines are concerned.
All right, getting spooky. Matt, you know, always getting himself in a bit of a hairy situation now as we get to the late game. The team's not always been with him in that range. Lorlo is his buddy now. They're hand in hand, but that helping him may actually not work for them. Haunter's in the front line. We said it'd take a bit to take him down, so they focus Svenskeren, another tanky member of the team, and he's down. Doublelift actually catches the boomerang, and he hits a bit of damage, but is able to arcane shift out. Inside of Haunter now gets spit out. Now it's on to Bjergsen. Dardoch has his eyes. The team is trying to focus as well. A great scatter the Meek by Bjergsen to slow down a bit of the engage from Team Liquid. Haunter now has been taking so much damage. He is absorbing it all. Phoenix gets into the fight with the ultimate, but he goes down with his flash. The barrier's not even used. TSM is really starting to take hold of this game. One last quick shot, mystic shot coming in from Doublelift. The triple kill from him, and TSM are now pulled back into this one.
And hope is more than alive for TSM after that fight. They again, this time, got the jump because they were able to cut,
minions.
They cut through the front line of Team Liquid. Matt's ultimate was burned without success, and he could no longer eliminate either Bjergsen or Doublelift from the team fights, which he had been doing the entire game. So now, they did take down Svenskeren, but had nothing left for Haunter. The chase utility of the blue buff Ezreal and Bard reigns supreme, and I think they're going for the win on this push.
You have to be kidding me. No way. 43 minutes in, 16-10. On top the whole time was Team Liquid.
Now it's TSM. They're hanging by a thread, Team Liquid is, and they're not going to be able to come back in time. Yeah, they take down Doublelift, but there's enough damage after they take down Dardoch to take down the Nexus. TSM may have gone down in day 1, but they will come back strong for day 2 and go 1-1 in the first week of the spring split. TSM take down Team Liquid.
What a peculiar game, Riv. We heard Doublelift talk about in the soundbite before the game how this season is more punishing than previous seasons. You make one mistake and you lose. Well, for whatever reason, TSM made numerous mistakes and did not lose. Yet as soon as Team Liquid made the mistake, TSM punished with the game.
And this, it's the first time really, Team Liquid's the one to come out and Dom say, stop, we've had a great week. This is the first time Team Liquid has ever gone 0-2 in the first week of the LCS.
Wow.
So things definitely changing. But to look at where TSM got that win, it did not come easy.
No, it did not. This was a hard-fought week and a very hard-fought game. TSM, Bjergsen picks up only a single kill on Cinder the entire match. Team Liquid had it out for him. The two new guys on this Team Liquid team, Dardoch and Matt, did work. And
they did work. There's
Piglet
no doubt about that.
Is crushed yet again. He was 5-0-9 for the vast majority of that game, and his only death after killing Doublelift so many times means Doublelift wins the game. There's Reggie. He was real worried about starting 0-2. You can bet that, but that relief has got to feel pretty sweet.
Team Liquid down on themselves and have some right to be for how well they were doing, but they can look at that game and know where the glaring weakness was. It's not a question. They know what happened. They can prevent something like that from happening last time, but maybe put their foot down a little bit more as well to prevent it from happening, because TSM started to gain too much ground, which allowed to the fight that happened at midnight. 42 minutes, we're gonna bring up this replay for you, just where TSM turned everything around, and it's where Team Liquid really could not come back.
Yeah, and this is really the only fight in the game that TSM won, was the one that was at 43 minutes. We'll come right in here. This was, let's just roll it straight off the bat. Game noise, let's hear this. So anyway, Sven Skaren going down, he was actually not in the best position, but it gives Team Liquid the confidence to continue going on. And it's mainly the fact that they continually kite back, and Haunser eats Doublelift to clear distance right here. Dardoch then gets far ahead of the rest of his team, which was critical since the entire game he had been hiding behind the tank line of Lorlo and Matt. Once he was down, the threat of the backline was not as great. Phoenix missed his shockwave right there. I think he thought the ball...
It was a suicide wave.
Well, what he was trying to do is he was trying to have the self-shockwave flash, transfer it to all three people.
Right.
But the ball was on the ground, not on top of his head. So when he did that, it cost him the game. That could have been the turn in the other direction to win it because of how squishy they were. Oh boy.
That's when games get good, when it comes